Kayla.
Another beautiful Sunday. Just chilling.
You already know what it is.
Yeah. So what's up? What's the topic of the day, Adrian?
All right. You already know we got a good one for you. So today we're going to go over Budgate, as I like to call it.
Budgate. Aptly named.
Aptly named Budgate. Because guess who's popping up on the blog sites again?
Who?
Kid Rock. And this time it's not for music, the one thing that he actually, is supposed to probably be relevant for. It's, because he got photographed drinking, guess what? Bud Light. Dun, dun, dun. That's right. The alpha dog, the pistol packing Pilsner hater himself, is doing the exact opposite of what he claimed that he was doing, right? But this ain't the first time his hypocrisy behind the brand, was brought to light. I mean, this is the same guy. A couple of months ago, people visited his bar in Nashville, and guess what they were serving in his bar? Bud Light. Ain't that shocking?
Well, honestly, what I read on that is with when it comes to sales of liquor, when you have a liquor license, sometimes you can't necessarily pick and choose what is served. Depending on your vendors.
Yeah, so the style of bar that you have can determine what you can serve.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that Bud Light was still on tap at his bar. So they had several brands that you can choose from, and instead of getting rid of Bud Light, because remember, I'm done with Bud Light. If you really stood on that, you wouldn't be serving it at your establishments. But money talks.
What's kind of funny is throughout this little controversy that happened is I think this is going to be a trend because I feel like his input is much needed on many topics. But Garth Brooks took a stance.
Shout out Garth Brooks.
What would Garth Brooks do? He has a bar. I think it's in Tennessee. It's called Friends in Low Places, after that song that he has.
Yeah.
And he actually put out a release saying, no, we're still going to serve Bud Light at Friends in Low Places. There are people that prefer that. So we want to make sure that we have everything that everyone would prefer. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting that he actually took a stance on it and people cared, but that means the media cares about Garth Brooks too. So
shout out Garth Brooks.
Yep.
But I think that in this round 2 dust up of Kid Rock versus Bud Light, the real focus really shouldn't be on Kid Rock because he's just an old privileged rich white dude who's a has-been. And I guess he just has too much time on his hands. Instead of making music, he's just like, nah, I'm just going to go to my bar, get a bunch of cans of Bud Light, and go in the fucking backyard and shoot at him because I'm such a rebel. Bro, your dad was wealthy.
Are we able to show the video? Because that clip is 50 seconds long. I would love to show that.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible. Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
As you see in that video right there, that was pretty ridiculous. He's like, Grandpa's mad. And then he seemingly has some fireworks coming out that Bud Light that he's shooting up. I know it's the ricochets of the bullets or whatever, but man, that's so dramatic. You went really out and bought all that Bud Light to do that.
Or he just got it from his bar. Yeah, but then that means that he bought it anyway.
Yeah, either way, he spent the money.
Yeah, either way, you bought it, buddy.
It's like that weird Nike protesting shit and
Yeah.
like burning Barbies for being pissed about Barbie movie. It's like the equivalent, all that shit to me.
Yeah, it's dumb. But I think what the real meat of this story is how Bud Light completely fumbled the fucking rock. Oh my goodness. They took a situation and handled it in probably the worst way that you can handle it as a company. This is the same company who's ran LGBTQIA plus campaign ads for years, right?
Yeah.
We're talking like every year they support the community in some way, shape, or form, even whether it's events or whether it's during Pride Month. But you've systematically screwed yourself so hard in the span of like 4 months. And you want to know how?
How?
So here's the breakdown of how this all happens, right? So Anheuser-Busch, which is the parent company that owns Bud Light and Budweiser, they send Dylan Mulvaney cans of Bud Light as a part of a partnership to celebrate her first year, of her first year of transitioning, right?
Yeah,
cool.
She's a transgendered influencer.
Yeah, cool. Do your thing. I don't know her. She can live her life. I mean, that's up to her.
Yeah.
So they do this. They start a firestorm, right? You get right-wing zealots, anti-LGBTQ beer drinkers taking issues with, a trans woman becoming the face of the brand, and they call for a boycott of the brand. And when Budweiser hears this, the first thing they don't do is support and take up in defense of the person that you're partnering with.
That's kind of cringe.
Yeah, that's cringe. So you partner with her, and then everybody knows shit's going to hit the fan because it's trans rights. Yeah. Trans rights to a lot of people aren't seen as rights, which to me I think is bullshit. Right? Live your life, love who you love, do your thing.
Yeah.
So instead of saying nah, leave her alone, no, you hang her ass out to dry.
Yeah, they just left her to fend for herself.
Yeah. So then you get the actual LGBTQ, the LGBT community seeing this and this transphobic hate, surrounding her, and the company not standing by their own campaign. So
that
they're
they
like
opted in for.
Yeah.
Probably pitched to her.
Yeah, it'd be hard pressed for her, in my opinion, to go to Bud Light and say, look, I got a great idea for y'all. No, they probably approached her because of her following and the fact that our generation and the generations behind us don't drink as much beer as the generations in front of us. So they're trying to hit a community that's hard to tap into with that bad taste in beer. Don't nobody want to drink that piss.
Yeah, Bud Light.
Exactly.
Nasty. I've never had a good experience with Bud Light other than a blackout.
So they don't stand by their own marketing. They put multiple execs on leave, and bars within the actual the LGBTQ community begin to boycott their brand. And then you get others within the community boycotting them by switching to companies that actually support the queer community. So you set out to reach a market. You piss off your base, which is a fringe portion of their base, let's be honest. But you piss off that portion of your base, and instead of just, because you're going to take the hit anyway, because of who the portion of your base actually is, you're going to take a hit. But instead of taking that hit that you knew you were going to take anyway and standing by this girl and saving face publicly. Now you go, mum is the word, and then you piss off the base that you're trying to reach in the process. How the fuck does that work? And like the controversy
I'm not
starts.
shocked.
I mean, I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. There's so many. Sorry, my cat plays fetch, and I don't know if you see my camera shaking, but she keeps on bringing me her fucking mouse. I'm sorry. No, but I just noticed, like, I don't know. They had such an opportunity to like stand behind her, especially because they sought her out, and they just like I saw like some report where they did like a release, and one of the things that they said is that the can with her face on it, the thing that like sparked some of the outrage that ended up coming out, they were trying to say they didn't make that for her and that she got that from a third party company that was not affiliated with her. And it's like, you made that product and sent it to her as a congratulations for her first year of womanhood, which is a huge deal for her being trans. And then you're gonna backtrack on that?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's shady. So like I totally get the boycotting on the LGBTQ side. The other side though, so cringe. I don't know. There's so many like layers to this, truly.
Yeah. So like
Off.
financially, like the controversy for them financially starts in April, right? And they see the immediate decline in sales. And in March, Bud Light, which holds 10% of the domestic market shares of, beer sales,
which is a lot.
It's the top of the totem pole with Modelo's, right on their tail. And Modelo has been slowly creeping into the market, year after year after year, just slowly chugging away. So they come into March, and then by April they're down to 8.7%, right? So they lose damn near 2% of the market share, in less than a couple of months. And in May they're down to 7.6% of the actual market share. And by the time you get to June, they didn't hit 7% of the market share. So they lose nearly 3% of the market share within almost 4 months because you're wishy-washy.
Yeah. Which is wild. But I get it. But that's really like, it shows you that truly, if the American consumer wants to protest with their dollars, they can make that shit happen.
Exactly. Because and I mean, you can say that, that the right did this. No, they got systematically hit from both sides.
Yeah, both of the far sides of the spectrum, truly.
Yeah, because there are plenty of people who it doesn't matter. You drink beer to drink beer. They don't care what's on the can. These are the same companies.
They just want to get drunk.
Yeah, these are the same companies that support LGBTQ rights throughout the year and super hard during Pride Month. And you don't stop drinking Bud Light, Budweiser, Modelo, Coors, Miller Lite. You don't stop drinking it during that month to protest. No, you drink the beer the same way you would drink it if it was May or if it was September or if it was October. Like, you just drink the beer.
I know that during Pride Month, people get a little bit more like outraged by the rainbow flag being on items, or they're like, "Ooh, I'm not buying that. They can get that trash out my face," stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The outrage over this was really like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's well deserved because of how they fumbled the bag. But yeah, I think it gave other beer brands more saturation in the market, which I don't know. It's opening up more diversity, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
More steps available when you go out.
Oh yeah, it brings to
Yeah.
light all these different brands. I mean, Modelo, on the other hand, right? During this time, they see an uptick in sales. People are switching brands. They're supporting brands that have a history of supporting the LGBTQ plus rights. And
Mhm.
as a matter of fact, it was the Modelo itself was the top selling beer brand for the 4 weeks ending July 1st with an 8.7% share of the overall beer sales, in retail stores for that period. So not only had they been slowly catching up to Anheuser-Busch, but they're basically bad leadership allowed them to be overtaken, within the actual marketplace. And that's according to readers. And they're also listed as the top place for LGBTQ plus workers, in 2022. So last year, scoring 100 out of 100 in workplace protection, inclusive benefits, and inclusive culture in the Human Rights Campaign Equality Index. So Modelo's been knocking it out the park with fantastic leadership and fantastic representation within multiple communities for a long time. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Plus,
like,
they treat their workers well. So, like, having that reputation to back them, like that
exactly.
right there, a lot of people will see that and they're like, you know what? That's a good company. I want to support and put my money behind. So,
Exactly. Plus, the
the
beer
switch
doesn't
sounds
taste half
easy.
bad.
Yeah, I'm not really a beer drinker, but I know that like when I drink beer, I go for something like I do go for like Modelo's or I'll go for a Corona with a lime in it.
Yeah, a
Um,
Corona with a lime in it is probably for me like one of the better tastes because that lime cuts the bitterness,
yeah,
and then
I
it
feel
just
like
tastes
it's
like soda
definitely
water.
it's a Vegas staple because when I was like growing up, I remember everywhere I went downtown, you could get or not a Modelo, sorry, you could get a Corona with a lime in it for like $2. So like that's like I don't know. I remember seeing everybody with that in the summer when I was growing up. And but anyhow, off topic.
I mean, but that's real though. But there's
Hmm.
also beer brands supporting that community. It's not new though. Like I said,
No.
Modelo's parent company partners with Stonewall Sports, which works to promote LGBTQ representation in sports. And as a matter of fact, all US leading light beer brands have a history of supporting that community, often in the form of sponsorships to pride events. So like no
That's
matter
fantastic. That's
exactly
good.
the dollars have been going to the community, hopefully in the best way possible.
Yeah.
But I think the best part is that Bud Light's losses in the market share have been benefiting all the other brands, like you said earlier, diversifying the market. Coors Light, which is
Mhm.
saw one of the highest increases in in market shares, going from 5.1 to 6.2% of the market. Miller
Mhm.
Lite went from 4.6 to 5.3. And like I said, Modelo Especial, which was the second highest seller, overtook Bud Light. So not only did you lose those market shares to Modelo, allowing them to leapfrog you, and that shareholders meeting at the end of their fiscal year is probably gonna be a damn party.
They're like, woo!
But it didn't go to one place, so you can't just pick those market shares back from Modelo. You also
Yeah.
gave some to Coors. You also gave
Mhm.
some to Miller Lite. So you diversified the market without even trying.
Yeah, I bet you PBR and Natty Ice are real happy right now.
And that's the best. And I think for me, the absolute best part of it is that you're an anti-LGBTQ activist, right? And you think that you were successful in tearing down Bud Light, and we're going to support a hard American brand, something like that. Nope.
Yeah, you just filtered your money into other organizations, or not organizations, other businesses that support the very thing that you're rallying against.
Yeah, so
It's more of that uninformed selective outrage that I love to call out oh so often.
oh, there's nothing like a good bit of selective outrage, just like,
Mhm.
oh, I hate this because someone told me I should hate it. But my favorite part is when they're like, I hate this specific thing, and I'm gonna go over here because they don't,
Because they're not them.
yeah, they're not them, and they do the exact same thing. So it's like,
But
if
on
you
a better scale. Actually,
yeah.
back their people.
So if you thought you were getting one over, nah, Playboy, you just look dumb twice.
I love it.
Ah, man, I just that's probably my favorite thing of it all, is just like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Modelo because Modelo's a man brand, or I'm gonna go to Coors Light because that's a man brand. Nah, bruh, they support the community too.
Yeah.
So like, more power to them, to like the LGBTQ, IA plus community. Y'all keep doing y'all thing. Like, I ain't got nothing but love and respect for y'all.
Yeah. No, and honestly, like the fact that this stuff, I feel like this is like a seasonal thing. Like once a year, or at least once every election cycle, there's some huge event dealing with some kind of company not backing LGBTQIA in a good way, or like not, I don't know, just being tone deaf,
Yeah. It's
like
like read the room.
Yeah, so like
I
don't know. I hope that one day people just stop
trying
so hard. People are people. They're gonna love who they love, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be a dick about it. And like there's gonna be branded shit. But you know what? You're gonna buy that shit anyway, whether it's branded or not. So just buy the shit. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter. I mean, if you're gonna give your money to the company, give it to the company. It doesn't matter.
Like Kid Rock. Like he was drinking Bud Light like a week ago.
And I bet his bar is still making hand over fist selling Bud Light.
Oh yeah, and all the people that were shooting it up, they're probably drinking that shit again because that's all that's available in a lot of places.
Yeah, because it's one of the highest. It has such a high market share.
Exactly.
So I mean, like it's crazy. It's crazy. But I think they what they did to themselves is self-inflicted because even this year, so they go to support the Toronto Pride event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And which is something that they always do. They've been doing it for the last 10 years. So this isn't anything new. This isn't anything additional on top of that to try to save face, right?
It's been on their books for years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they get shit for that. So like,
that's more of that uninformed selective outrage, I think, too, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then it also comes back to that self-inflicted wound that you guys have a history of doing this. Just stand on it. If that's what y'all believe, stand on that. Yeah. And the real are gonna respect it.
Yeah, like a lot of people are saying that the reason that Anheuser-Busch dropped the ball so bad is because they have their first, like, I think she's the advertising director. I might be wrong on that, but she's the first one that they've had that's under the age of 40 in the entire existence of the company. So she was trying to do something a little more woke, and then it backfired because the company at the end of the day is still ran by men. And I'm pretty sure that their PR guy that came in was like, yeah, this is what we're going to do, and overtook that portion of it. So
it's just a smear. It's just a smear on the brand. I mean, they bounced back fiscally. I mean, in this last month, they ended up financially clearing like $1 billion. So it wasn't yes, they lost the market share and they did lose a ton of money. They lost that, but they're in the rehab stages of it. But whatever inroads that you guys had initially, or you thought you were making within that community, good luck trying to repair those.
Yeah, no, I
'Cause, like,
agree.
and even like the selective outrage of it all is stupid
Yeah.
because on June 22nd, GLAAD published a poll that conducted at the start of the month that was commissioned from research firm Ipsos to examine the issue of corporate involvement in Pride Month. And
Okay.
I'm going to read the results of it, but all it shows is that you should have stood on what you said originally. So
Yeah.
44% plurality of Americans believe that businesses support was helping advance the LGBTQ rights. That were two rather revealing results of it, right? So of that 44% of that group, there were two rather revealing results, right? According to
Okay.
the representative sample size, divided roughly equally among Republican, Democrat, and independents, only 13% said a brand or a store offering LGBTQ pride themed collections or merchandises would make them more likely to buy from that same vendor. Another 61% said that it would make no difference at all, while a full quarter of respondents said that it would in fact negatively impact their purchasing decisions. Now, this result suggests purely from a commercial point of view that companies would likely lose more customers than net that they would gain outwardly promoting LGBTQ themed products. But those numbers effectively flip if that same company subsequently finds itself the target of criticism for its support. Of those surveying, 29% said that they would then support that company versus 17% who said that they would prefer to support the critics. So based on those numbers alone, what that's breaking down is that, yeah, if a company is supporting that, you're going to get a quarter of those people that said, no, I'm not going to support them. But if they get attacked like Bud Light did and Dylan herself did, then 29%, so you would see nearly a 4 to 5% increase in support if your company is attacked for supporting those themes. So at the end of the day, effectively 4 to 5% of Americans who took that survey would have positively supported your business on top of that. So it would have been a net of 4 to 5%. Just based off of a small sample size of that. And if you can extrapolate that out forward, then financially you might end up in the green than you do in the red.
That's so crazy because you figure like they should have people that run those kind of statistics for them before they do campaigns like that.
I believe that they do.
They have so much money. So like,
Yeah.
why? And that people are sensitive about topics like this. So like, why wouldn't you invest the money to make sure you don't shit the bed?
Exactly.
So yeah, this whole thing, it's been pretty. I don't know. It's not crazy, but it's like. I just feel like this thing repeats like yearly, and like it's unfortunate because I know that Dylan did have a pretty hard time. Dylan, like I just feel bad because of the fallout that they received after everything, and like I feel like they got no backing from the company. Like there was a period where they had to turn off their social media because all the hatred and like backlash that they themselves were getting, but it wasn't even like I don't know, like they didn't really do anything wrong, and I don't know. I just hope that they are doing okay and that Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch have learned how to appropriately deal with these situations moving forward.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day that they need to learn that if you're going to me, trans rights aren't a controversial topic because again, love who you love. I mean, what you do in the privacy of your own home or out in public with you and your significant other holds no fucking bearing on my life whatsoever. So do you love who you love?
Mm-hmm.
Do all that beautiful stuff. Get married.
We all deserve to be happy.
I mean, life is hard as it is. So to make someone's life harder because they love X person or Y person, it doesn't fucking matter.
It really doesn't.
It really doesn't.
And so many people get passionately angry over it, and I just can't register how that makes sense to anybody. It just
And I mean, it stems from upbringings. I mean, there are so many facets that lead into this topic. I mean, whether you get lifestyle, religious choices, things like that. There are so many avenues of it.
Yeah.
Just let them be. I mean, they're not hurting anybody. Saying, if Dylan transitioned, did that hurt you?
Yeah.
Did it hurt you? At the end of the day, when you check yourself and you look for scars, whether internally or externally, did it hurt you? And if it didn't hurt you, why does it matter to you?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know who Dylan Mulvaney was before all of this.
I didn't either.
Because of this entire situation, now I actually am aware of who they are. And I've seen their TikToks and things. Like,
I had absolutely zero knowledge of her, and I was just like, my first reaction was, why is this a thing?
She's just living her best life, and she happened to get, I don't know, kind of played by Bud Light. That's my hot take on it. Yeah. But I don't know. I just hope that after everything, now that it's kind of died down, people are more so focusing on like the fact that the Anheuser-Busch company lost so much money now, and the fact that Kid Rock was caught drinking Bud Light. He hasn't had a hit since 2007, but like shade. But like I hope that she's okay and that we stop seeing this happen so much to so many people, because people don't deserve to get all this backlash, hatred, and fallout because of a company's poorly done marketing campaign.
Yeah.
And that's my hot take.
Yeah, at the end of the day, my hot take is Bud Light owes Dylan a public apology for being basically a giant twat.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
They owe them a written, as a matter of fact, my hot take is I'd like to see the CEO of Anheuser-Busch come out and say, hey, we handled this badly. Whether you're for the rights or whether you're against it, we handled it badly. And to Dylan, we're sorry.
Yeah. And don't make it weird. Don't do a fucking campaign about it now.
Oh my gosh.
That fucking ship has sailed. If you do that shit, you're wrong.
Yeah, we learned.
But a statement where the way we handled this was not good. We damaged not only our reputation, but the trust that our customer base had for us.
In all communities.
Yeah, and honestly, more importantly, we're sorry to Dylan because we did that shit. And we're fucked up.
Yeah, because no matter what, she's the one who got dragged through the mud.
Yep, 100%, which is not cool or not right.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, say whatever you want. I mean, it would have been like, even like the Colin Kaepernick and Nike thing, right? Like,
yeah,
Nike kind of doubled down and then just said, we're going to turn this into an entire campaign. Why? Because the money's there. It doesn't even matter if they cared about it. Why? Because they knew it'd take the initial hit and the money is going to roll in.
Yeah, because whether you love them or hate them, someone's going to buy it.
And they're going to buy it just to spite the people that are rallying against it, or they're going to buy it just because
they like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they say? All publicity is good publicity.
Yep. Whether you're liked or hated, someone's gonna buy your shit.
That part.
Like Kid Rock and Bud Light.
Yeah.
But,
Anywho, I digress. Fuck Kid Rock.
Hasn't had a hit since 2007.
I mean, we could do an entire show on the whackness of Kid Rock, but I don't feel like spending 30 minutes to an hour talking about him, nor spending several hours researching his lameness.
Yeah, nah. I would do like a top 10 worst music ever written, though. I bet you he'd fall in there with Cowboy.
Top 10 grifters. Kid Rock making you think that he grew up poor. When in reality his daddy was paid. And then as a the cool part was this dude, when his dad died, got $11 million from his dad's estate. He was never poor. So that dirty dirt bum look that he gets, like he some down.
Ripped it off Joe Dirt.
Yeah,
I don't know which one came first. Honestly, I think Kid Rock happened in 1998.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
So instead of like,
that's when he happened to the country.
Yeah. So, him pretending like he's this, hard, got it out the mud American bullshit.
What a fucking crock of shit. Yeah, I did notice that fucking in that video that property he was shooting on was mighty nice, but that could have been his home or business. But either way, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Well, that's been our time on on another episode of Two Hot Ass Takes. I'm your co-host Adrian. That's Kayla.
Hey.
And hopefully you enjoyed it. If you like our hot takes, let us know. If you think they're shit and they're an ass hot take, let us know as well. I mean, we probably won't look at them, but it doesn't matter.
I'll argue with you in the comments if you really want me to. Like, just put that in the comments too. All right, but that's been our episode. We'll see you next time on Two Hot Ass Takes.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.